Scott Makin on BBC Tees.
13 minutes to 10 Thursday morning. Scott in for Mike between now and 12. Talking about Germaine Greer's comments that are in all the papers this morning. Right now, let's go to Janet Ford, who's a solicitor at Cygnet Law in Redcar. Morning, Janet.
Morning, Scott.
Thanks for joining us this morning. What is the definition then of rape?
Well, the actual act is the penetration, but as you know, it is a violent crime, and society views it as such. As a firm that advocates for people, including men, women and children, domestic violence, some of which have been victims of rape, we are concerned that someone in such a high-profile position as Germaine Greer would make such a comment. So to suggest that it's not a spectacularly violent crime, but instead it should be viewed as more as a lazy, careless and insensitive behaviour, it doesn't assist with all the work that's been carried out over the past number of years.
Yeah, she's also quoted as saying that non-consensual sex is bad sex, not rape. Do you agree?
No, we wouldn't agree. I mean, obviously, a person has a right to say no. Somebody needs to be clear that they are saying no if they're in that type of situation. But to compare the two and to minimise rape in such a manner is not helpful to, victims of such a crime and all the work that's been done in this area.
So, Janet, how many rape cases on average result in prosecution and conviction?
Well, we're not a criminal firm as such. Our involvement is on the domestic violence aspect of it. And so we make applications supporting victims in respect of ongoing situations such as the non-molestation order. We also do a lot of work with Cleveland Police, and we assist with the obtaining the domestic violence protection orders. So I'm not in a position to be able to quote the percentage, although Cygnet have recently carried out their own in-house investigation in respect of people seeking assistance. And we are aware that over the past 3 years, in particular, men are now coming forward in greater numbers than what they previously were. And that's why, as a firm, we are particularly concerned by the comments that have been made, because this type of comment, we feel, will put people off coming forward if they feel it's been minimised.
What advice then would you give to anybody that's listening right now who's been a victim?
To contact the police, to seek help. There's also support groups in our particular area for women. There's Eva, who we do a lot of work with. There's also assistance for men. You can come and see a number of family solicitors in the area who can guide you into support services, but just speak to somebody. You do not need to suffer in silence.
Janet, let's go back to Germaine Greer's comments. Do you think she's trying to say that there's varying degrees of rape?
Yes, she possibly is trying to say that there's varying degrees of rape. But rape on the statute books is established, and it's quite clear from what's been mentioned in the media over the last number of years and what's been debated in Parliament. And also there's a current bill that's being considered by Parliament at the moment in respect of domestic violence, that people have a right to say no, and to say that different degrees of the offence is not helpful.
Well, this is it. I mean, Germaine Greer has said it's not always violent. And Professor Nicole Westmoreland, that we spoke to a little earlier, said that Germaine had a couple of good points and that rape impacts differently on people as well. And Germaine Greer also talked about consent, saying it should be removed from court cases in front of a jury. She says that when it comes to her word against his and somebody is facing a potentially lengthy sentence, the jury will not convict.
Well, no, I don't think that's helpful, because each case has to be taken on its own merits. And to have a broad brush approach like that it is not beneficial. And then that also would put people off coming forward if they think that they're not going to be believed because of a narrow issue such as that.
Now let's talk about your work, of course, that you're doing with Eva Women's Aid in Redcar. We spoke to Rashinda a little earlier. What work are you doing with them?
Well, we provide a service where one of our solicitors attends at their offices for people to access legal advice, and we can assess people for legal aid and provide support services around the breakup of relationships, not just in respect of domestic violence. It can be other issues as a result of the breakdown of a relationship, such as financial impact, in respect of separation or divorce, etc., children matters, the full broad area in respect of family matters.
Janet, thank you so much for coming on this morning. That's Janet Ford, solicitor at Cygnet Law in Redcar.